The biggest high school football game of the week in Dallas, saved for a Saturday afternoon, appropriately named the Super Bowl of Oak Cliff.
And everything like that was at Carter and Kimball and everything like that that Kimball has. And the ethnicity of Kimball was, kids was getting bussed in and everything like that that started. So the wave, when Coach Jones came, it was just called the Black Flight came over here. So that wave came with Coach Jones and Coach Freddie James and all them. So that started the Kimball Carter, where the stands was on the tracks and things like that. So the media got hold of it, so the media took a hold of the Oak Cliff Super Bowl, and that's the name that came in 1988 with Coach Jones. So Coach Jones coming from Bishop, the HBCU type atmosphere that he came from, and the band and the rocking and things like that. So he came and brought that flavor to us. So that's when it started with Coach Jones to get the name of Oak Cliff Super Bowl. We have had guys that went to Carter that became coaches at Kimball, but I didn't know that certain coaches even went to Carter because they became a coach at Kimball, and they took that Kimball pride. A guy named Melvin Lloyd was a rookie coach my senior year here at Kimball. But I had to really do my own research and find out that he was a Carter graduate, but I wouldn't know it because when he got here at Kimball, he bleed Kimball. And all the coaches and the kids, which I played up under him, they didn't feel nothing. We got a coach now the same way. They pulling for Kimball because you're coaching at Kimball. But they pulling for Carter every other game. They want Carter to go 9-1. Their only loss gonna be to Kimball once you get here and get that fever from a Kimball standpoint. So coaching in that rivalry is just one of the things that that hey, we got to go in here and win this for the community. Well, this game for the community means that you get bragging rights for that year. The James Jones Trophy now and honor him, and you get that bragging rights to the next time you play Carter. Now we done changed in division because of numbers, enrollment numbers. It don't have the luxury of you in the same district, so you can darn near put the game later, for the climax for the fans. So you got to play them in preseason now. So it changes a little bit of the luxury you have when it was just for winning the district. Carter made it to the third round of the playoff last year. So their team had more success than our team did last year. So, but the thing is, nobody look at that unless you done won it all. They don't look at that you went to the third round. We look at that we beat y'all that year, but they beat us last year. And, played them good game. It still was exciting to the fans. Very exciting to the fans, and everybody, was a nail biter to the end. So that game's always bring out the best of the kids right then. I think that this year's team, we were very competitive last year. We 3 times better this year with this team that came in because they had to come in and lift and do all the running and everybody's speed. And if you was at 4.6, you probably 4.4 now, and things like that the kids improve on. 7-on-7 this summer, and kids running track, doing other sports that coach came in that he employed. Hey, y'all need to get into another sport. And we didn't do so much 7-on-7 during track season. The kids ran, and he came out and said, hey, let's go compete. So that competition, even off that, goes over and flows over to the football team. So this game here going to be very exciting again because they got better and they was good. And we have got 3 times better. So I expect us to win the game for sure. By how many points, I can't put a number on that, but I expect us to win the game because of what we prepared and how our kids have been playing and competing just in practice on a daily basis. So, I mean, you know, at every position we have got better at, every position. They might have got better at a running back who's already one of the top running backs, but our defense is tremendous. So they're going to have to coach their way to find a way to keep themselves in the game than just say, oh, we finna just do this. They're going to have to really do some coaching to beat us.
Texas OU, Dallas, Pittsburgh back in the 70s. It's just, smash mouth football between two urban schools, which is only probably like 7 miles apart. It's the mecca of Oak Cliff football. Carter, man, tradition. Carter in the urban community can be described as like a South Lake Curl out there and there. South Lake Curl have a thing called Protect the Tradition, and I think at W.W. Carter, it's the same thing, like community-wise. Like Wheatland and that whole like surrounding area really gets behind that program, especially in 1988 when they won the state championship. It took a decline a little bit after the early 2000s, a little bit after I think 2005. I think it started going down a little bit, but as of lately, it's starting to rise back up, and I do believe, and within about 3 more years, they could finally have a state championship at Carter High School. Kimball has been one of those Dallas schools whose one thing I give Kimball the credit for is every year Kimball non-district schedule always prepared them for the playoffs. Growing up, watching Kimball, I've always seen Kimball take on powerhouses like John Tyler, Garland, Tyler Lee, that type of, opponents to get ready for the playoffs. I believe Kimball, under Coach Bam Harrison, I believe Kimball is going to definitely be a great team in years to come. And just like Carter, I think Kimball in years, probably about the next 3 to 4 years, is going to be in the class with South Oak Cliff. But, growing up as a kid, going to D.A. Hulsey, a lot of us, from that football team had a decision to make, that year. Do we go to Carter? Do we go to Kimball? And it's funny because half our skill players my year decided to go over there to Kimball, and, half of us went to Carter. So it's like those two schools are pretty much almost identical. They both are starting to try to find their winning ways again. They both pretty much took a decline at the same time, so it's just really no difference, honestly. It means a lot, and I'm going to explain why it means a lot. We've heard the chatter over the years of how much the Oak Cliff Super Bowl has declined. We've seen over the years how much the stands have declined. When you talk about Carter and Kimball, back in the early 2000s, back in the 90s and 80s, you have a packed stand. I remember as a 8-year-old kid going to watch my uncle Jesse Cornelius play against Kimball back in 93, 92, 93. And I remember it was so packed at Sprague that it was people at the gate, trying to watch the game. So I think that's where we trying to get back to now. We're trying to get back to where it's a packed out house. It's a marquee game. It's a game where everybody's gonna be talking about again. And I feel like that's the goal in this rivalry, to get it back to where it used to be. My prediction is simple. David W. Carter 48, Dallas Kimball 14.